Nigeria is becoming one of the preferred business destinations, at least here in Africa. And as I said earlier, it's not a problem that we are oblivious of. It's something we keep talking about all the time. But as an operator in the manufacturing sector, I'm sure you know that there are so many things that have been put in place by government using regulatory agencies and enforcement agencies to try to make things better for manufacturers here in Nigeria. But has that changed in recent times?
No, I'll say it's changing for the better. It's not great for manufacturers in Nigeria at the moment due to the counterfeiting issues, faking, substandard, dumping. It all falls under the same category. We strive not to help our own industry grow, but we strive to help other industries grow in other countries. Being in the case of allowing counterfeiting of our own products, especially local products. It's a bane of the survival of any manufacturer to actually see his product being counterfeited in the market. But unfortunately, due to unscrupulous importers and unscrupulous traders, I think it's become a thriving business over the years. Most of those regulatory bodies you've said, SON, NAFDAC, Customs, and the rest, are doing, I believe, their best. We might say in the last 10 years, we've seen a lot more improvement from the beginning of NAFDAC era. And now we're seeing SON under the current management, DG, actually improve things. But they still have a long way to go.
Now, as a company, that's Coleman Wires and Coleman Wire and Cables. How have you been able to deal with this problem? Because it's like I said, it's something that's been here for a very long time, and it seems like it's festering like a very sordid wound of a sort.
It's unfortunate that for us, I think the problem is lingering, but we have to keep fighting it as a company and as an association and as a group. What tends to happen is that, for instance, in the cable industry, you find that majority of the faking happens to be people trying to profit here from what legitimate manufacturers in cable do. And what that is that they go trying to imitate or fake your cable, which is they don't actually use your cable or sell your cable. They sell imported substandard cable and try to imitate as much as possible, print your wrapping, wrap the cable in it, and try to sell it as your cable. That has been a big problem over the years with the industry. We've had to fight these unscrupulous importers with the assistance of SON. You're literally having to raid the market on your own with the assistance of the regulatory bodies. But really, is that what we need to continuously be doing? Why not stop this entry altogether of this product?
So that takes me to my next question. What can these regulatory bodies be doing to ensure that imports of these substandard products is actually stopped at the point of entry and it doesn't get into the market?
I think they need to be a bit harder on the actual importers. I think we're not being hard enough on the importers today. If we're hard enough, I don't think we'll make it so lucrative. As nobody will go into faking or substandard business.
When you say hard enough, what kind of policies or what kind of measures or sanctions should be put in place to come down hard on such people?
I think we need to start even like what SON is doing now, which is trying to approach things not only from Nigeria end, is to try and approach things from even the country end where we're getting the biggest problems. Today, unfortunately, the biggest problem of import of substandard or fake goods are coming from the Asian part of the world, which, if you want to be very specific, we can take China and India. Now, if we haven't not get them to regulate what they can even sell to Nigeria, because what these guys are even doing is dumping. Because it's easy for me to fake what you're dumping because it's cheap. Now, I'm not selling it in your country, but I can sell it in Nigeria. And because it's cheap, no manufacturer can compete with something that is not within even its own standards. Now, so what you tend to do is that you either try and stop them there, first of all, Now, they are doing that. We're only seeing a lot of improvement over the last 1 year. But I think, unfortunately, a lot has already happened. We've already lost a lot of money. And a lot of things are happening very quickly now. I think now you have the new sun cap, they've just revamped it, whereby now it's almost getting to pre-inspection. Since it started, I think in my own fair view, we've seen improvement, because now they're actually checking what these people are actually going to load into the container. Does it meet the specification of Nigeria? If it doesn't, why are you loading it in the first place? Now, unfortunately, it can make importation more cumbersome, and it might delay things. But if it delays and gets me benefit of actually being able to compete at par with what is coming in, I really don't mind. But then when I'm not competing at par, and then you bring the product in, and even worse of all, try to imitate my brand name because you believe the brand name will allow you to sell at an higher price, that is what encourages counterfeiting. Nobody counterfeits not to make more profit. They counterfeit to make far more profit than normal. It's an abnormal profit issue.
If you have counterfeiters doing this to you, how does the company break even? Because you're losing so much revenue. How do you get to record profits, and how do you get to pay for your overhead, pay for your staff, and the rest of it, and even still make yourself relevant in the industry? It's
unfortunate. You have to have one budget for actually running your business, and you might have to put another budget for actually stopping counterfeiters. But in my fair view, I think for counterfeiting to work, you must make it as profitable as possible for them. Now, for counterfeiting not to work, you must make that product not profitable. Now, to make it not profitable means you must make it available. Unfortunately, it boils down to the manufacturer again to actually make his product very available. Now, if the product becomes scarce, you most likely have a situation where someone wants to imitate it, because it's going to be more profitable when there's scarcity.
So it's also more work for the manufacturer. You always have to make sure your product is on the market to stop any counterfeiter from imitating your product.
I think, in my own view, that is very critical to even stopping any imitation, because if I make my product available, I have enough distributors, I have enough buyers. Now, in the situation where a lot of people actually are using your product, they're not too keen on allowing other people to spoil their own market to enter it. Now, but you cannot do it alone. You still need the regulatory bodies to actually do their work, whether be it in our industry, maybe in pharmaceutical. Pharmaceutical, I think, has gone a lot better now. Let's be fair. NAFDAC did magic tricks over the last 10 years, and everybody's afraid of bringing in substandard or fake product.
And we're all the better for it.
Yeah, but we need to get SON to that level. It might not happen. It took NAFDAC a lot of years, but we need to assist SON to get to that level. If we are in that same level of standards of product, I think faking the cables will be very difficult. Then in hindsight, we also found out that even SON itself has a little bit of hindrances on how it can hold you to faking, in terms of, have you copied the product or is it substandard? Now, where it comes to it coming into copying the product, there are gray areas with what they can try to do for you. It then goes to consumer protection. So even the law itself needs to be clear. Who should be kicking people for copying the cable? Who should be picking up people for making it substandard? We know it's SON, but let them have enough powers to not only be able to impound the substandard product, to also be impounding product duplication, which is basically counterfeiting it.
When you're looking at the high operating cost for manufacturers, do you think this makes manufacturers vulnerable and uncompetitive, so to speak?
Oh, of course. If we look at today and look at the economy today, if we have infrastructural problem setting up in any business or any SME business in manufacturing, it's itself difficult enough because you have infrastructural challenges, your overhead cost is high. I always tell people now that Nigerians are no more cheap, even in labor. We're actually quite expensive. Now, if we look at all those infrastructural issues, labor issues, then you now deal with the actual issues to deal with the running your business and then looking at the counterfeiting of your product. your survival is next to nothing. If you survive the first 2-3 years of counterfeiting, you should be really happy that you're still surviving.
Well, you didn't